And he'll take a shot. Ryan Smith, a huge catch. Touchdown, S.J. Green. An absolute beauty.
The Riders and Alouettes have dominated the highlight reel in otherwise disappointing seasons for both teams. Now, a late-season audition for Brandon Bridge. It's the first start behind center for a Canadian in the CFL in almost 20 years. Riders, Alouettes, up next. There he is, Canadian Brandon Bridge, the first Canadian QB to start a CFL game since Julio Caravata with the BC Lions was back in 1996, and this one comes on the very last day of the 2015 CFL regular season. The Alouettes finishing off against the Saskatchewan Roughriders here on the CFL on TSN. Week 20 concludes. This is it, the final day of the regular season. Game number 81. Glad to bring it to you. Rod Smith along with Jock Climby, Milt Stegall, and Chris Schultz. As fate would have it, the Montreal Alouettes end the season the way they began. Uncertainty, a carousel at quarterback. Recall game one when they lost Jonathan Crompton and Dan Lefevre Jock in the first half against Ottawa. Brandon Bridge got into that game, but really it has been a carousel all season long.
It's just amazing to think about what the Alouettes have been through at the quarterback position. I suppose it's no surprise that the team that finished first in the East has had the same quarterback under center all season long, and the team that finished last in the East has had this. 7 different quarterbacks have thrown the football, including S.J. Green, if you want to count him as the 8th at receiver. But I don't know how you can have success when you're looking at this kind of uncertainty at the quarterback position. I thought we were going to see a lot of Brandon Bridge after that game, and then he went from being the guy with the football to being on the practice roster. That's how crazy it's been there.
And I know everybody's excited about, a Canadian quarterback starting. Hadn't happened since 1996, but this guy has to show that he needs to be on the field, that he deserves to be on the field. This team is looking for a quarterback. We don't know who's going to be the starting quarterback going into training camp. He has an opportunity to do some great things, but he has to show that he deserves to be a Montreal Alouette, and he's going to get a great opportunity in this game, Chris.
Well, here are the compliments about Brandon Bridge as a quarterback. He does have dominant physical skills. He has a great attitude about football, and he's a bright young man. But the criticism is that he is inaccurate, and he is consistently inaccurate. And if there's one thing that you have to be as a quarterback, accurate with your football in the 10, 20, 30, and the deep ball. So the question is, can he become more accurate? Well, day one test is right here, right now. We'll see what Brandon can do.
And as we look ahead to next season, the one team that has the least certainty when it comes to the QB position would have to be the Montreal Alouettes. You never know. As mentioned, an audition for Brandon Bridge today against the Riders. We go from talking about quarterbacks to guys who terrorize them. John Bowman, shy of 1 sack for 100 in his career. He'll be trying to get it today against the Roughriders. Ilg of Saskatoon, you can win the ultimate $25,000 home theater package from Visions Electronics if a kickoff's returned for a touchdown in this game thanks to Safeway's Touchdown to Win promotion. And if it happens a second time in this game, well, Annette, you could be in store for $1 million. Good luck with that. The regular season ends where it began in Montreal with Rod Black and Dwayne Ford.
Final day, final game, 2015 regular season. The 2-15 Saskatchewan Roughriders trying to say good riddance to a terrible year, and the Montreal Alouettes 6-11 also spinning their heels as they come to the finish line.
History about to be made. Brandon Bridge becomes the first Canadian quarterback in nearly 2 decades to start a game at quarterback. The Mississauga native action in week 1 makes his first start here today. Keith Price, he's been with the Riders for a couple years. He's going to get the start today as they look to audition for next year.
27 different starting quarterbacks. That's a CFL record throughout the league this year. Bob Dice came in midstream, replacing Corey Chamberlain. Says there will be sunny days ahead for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. With optimism, they take a look at a number of new players today. And Jim Popp, who took over from Tom Higgins, the general manager. Will he be on the sideline next season for the Montreal Alouettes, or will he stay as the GM, or will there be a completely new house here in Montreal? Again, a lot of new players on both sides. It's kind of like a preseason game as these teams look towards next year's preseason.
It really is. Both teams with a lot of new young faces in the lineup today. They want to get a look at some of the guys that have been on their practice rosters, etc., to make some decisions going forward.
Last game of the 2015 regular season is kicked off. Steph Logan with a penalty flag down up near the 35-yard line. It's a cool day. It's sunny, though. 6 degrees Celsius here. And here comes Mississauga native Brandon Bridge, who's thrown into the fire in week 1. Our referee is Andre Prue.
Holding. Montreal number 45. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Let's go back to week 1, that first game. You and I were chatting with Brandon Bridge because he was going to do some holding on some kicks, etc. All of a sudden, he got thrown into the game when Jonathan Crompton went down, then Dan Lefevre.
Yeah, 2 veteran quarterbacks. Bridge was the number 3 man in the opening week. Ended up getting pressed into action, 5 for 10 in that game for 62 yards.
And his first pass as a starter is complete. Again, the first Canadian quarterback to start since 1996, Julio Caravata.
Let me take a look at some of the other faces in the lineup today. Jacob Ruby, first-round pick for the Alouettes, will start at left tackle in place of Josh Burke. Jake Piotrowski will start at left guard. He's been the Al's 6th O-lineman much of the season. His first start here. Cody Hoffman, out since week 3, will be in at slot.
This is what Bridge can do. Extends the play with his legs. Down this sideline. Big run for Brandon Bridge. 22 yards. Chatted with his dad before this game. Colin, very excited about seeing his boy get the start.
Brandon Bridge is a guy in the CFL draft. Absolutely one of the athletic elite of this draft class. Because of the unique position that he plays, obviously, there wasn't the same value to him as there was players at some other positions, because obviously, typically you've got Americans playing the quarterback slot.
There's Papa.
Yeah, made the drive from Mississauga this morning. But no doubt, plenty of adrenaline to keep him awake through this one.
We got to give a shout out to our pal Julio Caravata, broadcaster with TSN 1040 and covering the Lions games, who might be a little emotional today. It's been quite some time since the Canadians started. We've had Canadian quarterbacks throw footballs and playing game. Danny Brannigan played for the Argos. The last Canadian quarterback to play was Brandon Bridge earlier this season, but not start.
Brad Sinopoli took some snaps in 2011 as a quarterback for Calgary, but did not throw a pass. Danny Brannigan, prior to Bridge, the last Canadian quarterback to throw a pass in a regular season game, is a member of the Toronto Argonauts right here in 2010.
1st and 10, Brandon Bridge. Terrell Sutton in the backfield. Sutton, who's coming off a monster week, 135 yards last week carrying the football. If he has a week like that this week, he could become the rushing champion.
Defensively for the Saskatchewan Roughriders today, keep an eye on John Chick, as he and John Bowman, a couple great veterans, will be chasing quarterbacks. 52 career sacks for Chick. Jeff Knox Jr., 2nd in the CFL with 107 tackles. An awards nominee for them. Tyree Hollins, first-year player, leads that secondary with 7 knockdowns.
Bridge fires. It is complete, right near the first down marker. And there is B.J. Cunningham. He's had some playing time this year. The Owls choosing to sit a number of their starting receivers like Fred Stamps and S.J. Green and Nick Lewis.
A good reaction there by Bridge as the snap was just a bit outside. Christian Matt has moved from left guard to center. Luc Brodeur-Jourdain among those out of the lineup today. Now he's actually injured, dealing with an injured knee ligament. Actually played on that bad wheel last week.
Oh, they are just a little bit short. It'll be 3rd down and inches. Alouettes will bring the big bodies out. Bridge will go to the sideline. Owls had 4 quarterbacks listed. including Tosh Boyd. Spent some time with the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Anthony Boone as well. And Tanner Marshall listed. And over the top for a first down. They'll get the spot, and it will move the sticks.
So the three youngsters, Bridge, Boone, and Boyd, all CFL rookies.
3 Bs.
Handling the Alouettes quarterback duties today. Boone, of course, has had an opportunity to play a little bit this season, having thrown 21 passes. A late season look.
Shotgun again for Brandon Bridge. Hand off again, and then up the middle is Terrell Sutton. Now, yesterday, a lot of talk about Andrew Harris and Jerome Messam going for the rushing title. Terrell Sutton still has a chance in this game. 119 yards to tie, 120 yards. He would become the rushing champion.
And I'm sure for the Montreal Alouettes, that'll be part of their motivation today. Opportunity to earn that honor for the running back.
Into Saskatchewan territory, 1st and 10. From the 39-yard line, 18-yard run from Sutton. Little slant pattern, far side, Mikhail Davidson. Davidson, one of the draft picks as well. He was selected behind Brandon Bridge in the 2015 draft. Vanier Cup champion out of the Montreal Caravan organization.
Well, you're getting a pretty good look at the Alouettes 2015 draft class. Today, Jacob Ruby, Alex Charette, Davidson, and Bridge, all part of that draft class for the Owls starting on offense today.
2nd down, Sutton again, fresh set of sticks.
We also expect on defense to see 2015 draftees Nick Shortle and James Badanis. Anthony Cody as well. Cody's been on the roster much of the season. Pretty successful draft class for Montreal.
1st and 10, Bridge now gets out of one, and then a gang of riders just bring him down. John Chick was there. Also, Rory Conop bringing him down as Brandon Bridge on a broken play is sacked.
John Chick is the stand-up man on the edge for Montreal, or excuse me, for Saskatchewan. Nothing doing there as the veteran defensive end maintain that contained position. Keep Bridge in the pocket.
2nd down, 13. Throwing down now for Bridge. Keeps the blocking help in. Now goes down the sideline in the shadows. And looking for Alex Charette. There's a penalty flag to the end zone. Looks like we might have an interference call here as Alex Charette seeking his first CFL touchdown. Also a draft pick this year for the Owls.
And Charette is just going to work right down the seam, working against the halfback, Marche Green.
Saskatchewan, number 41. Ball will be placed on the 1-yard line. Automatic first down.
Clear pass interference call there as Green tried to recover once Charette got a step on him.
So once again, Anthony Boone behind center from the goal line, trying to score in this opening drive, and it looks like he will. Well, they give him a signal. There's a penalty flag on the far side. Still no signal, no touchdown. Looked like some movement on the line.
Saskatchewan, number 29. Ball will remain on the 1-yard line. First down.
Junior Montreal penalized here. Reset, 1st and goal. Boone again. This time he'll score. Touchdown. the quarterback out of Duke, Anthony Boone. Takes it over the top. Getting some congratulations.
Yeah, after not getting a clear call on the previous sneak, decides to put a little more emphasis in this one. Going airborne, reaching the ball over top. The clear touchdown call.
And probably a souvenir football as well for Anthony Boone, who will hold here for Boris Beatty.
Yeah, Boone has a couple of touchdown passes to his credit, but that's his first touchdown run.
32-yard point after for Boris Beatty. Successful first drive for Brandon Bridge. Anthony Boone caps it off, 7-0 out.
If you qualify for a Sittingham's card today, I can offer you no.
Nice start for the Canadian kid.
Yeah, solid, if unspectacular drive. Couple completions to Brandon Bridge, getting fellow rookie Alex Charette involved. We saw the athleticism. One of the biggest plays of that possession, a run around the end. Pass interference call set them up on the doorstep for the 1-yard plunge by Anthony Boone.
Man, Zach, we'll have like a...
7-0 Montreal early on. Tristan Jackson behind some blocks. Through the shadows. An 11-play, 75-yard drive. Took up a lot of time.
Ate up nearly 6 minutes on the clock. 5:59. 11 plays.
Keith Price coming up. His start. The CFL on TSN is brought to you by Nissan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. McGill University, slopes of Mount Royal. Percival Molson Stadium. Here is Keith Price. Gets his first start as a Saskatchewan Roughrider quarterback. 24-year-old out of LA. Played his college ball in Washington. Comes out throwing, or does he? He's brought down. He's sacked. Gabriel Napton swarms in.
Oh, look at the offensive starters here for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. A few of their vets in the lineup. Anthony Allen among the top running backs in terms of yards per carry this season at 6.6. Weston Dressler has a shot at 1,000 yards again. Naaman Roosevelt has been a nice find as a deep threat. 19.7 yards a catch. Tops among any receiver of 20 or more catches this season.
Here they go again, and down he goes again. And there is sack number 100 in a glorious career for John Bowman. There is a penalty flag that flew. We'll see if this sack stays.
54,
it will.
Third down.
History made for John Bowman. He ties the league lead now with Jamal Westerman. And that is career sack number 100.
Congrats to John Bowman. Also a career high.
Ray early into the sun. Logan shields his eyes and now makes one miss and another. Flags fly. But John Bowman adds his name to the list of great rush ends in the CFL who have recorded 100 sacks. 100 and counting for the great JB today in Montreal. John Bowman gets some love from Noel Thorpe, defensive coordinator. Gets a lot of love in Montreal. He has been a mainstay here through the years. This is not bad. 100 sacks. Now 17 on the season, considering he missed a couple of games because he was a healthy scratch.
Yeah, John Bowman. So this, his 16th game of the year. Career high 17 sacks. And possibly counting for John Bowman.
Chance to win the sack title. Corey Hoffman. Can't bring that in. Incomplete pass from Brandon Bridge.
Cody Hoffman is a guy who earned the job as the Alouettes' 5th receiver, essentially, coming out of training camp. Rookie, but was injured in the 3rd game of the season. Had been on the 6-game injured list the rest of the way, but the Alouettes used one of their exemptions to pull a player off that 6th game. They'd used one earlier in the year to pull Jonathan Crompton off, using their 2nd one to activate Cody Hoffman for this game.
BYU star Bridge steps up now, makes one miss, and lunging forward, close to a first down. Is going to be about a yard short of the first down marker. So it's going to be 3rd down and 1. And will they stay on the field here? Likely. Certainly attainable. Anthony Boone's coming out once again.
Brandon Bridge again showing that scrambling ability. This is still raw as a quarterback and learning the game, but a guy who's got all the tools without question.
So they bring Brandon Bridge back. Boone was coming out, so they bring Bridge behind center. He actually goes in shotgun here. 3rd and 1, hands it off to Sutton, and Terrell Sutton has a first down. He's got more. What a run from Terrell Sutton. You get a little nervous sometimes in that shotgun formation on 3rd and 1, but not that time for the Alouettes.
Well, Terrell Sutton has been such a bright spot for the Montreal Alouettes this season in terms of what he's provided with the run game, and to the point that at times you've questioned why they haven't used him more. Sutton comes into this one averaging close to 6 yards a carry at 5.8.
40 yards in the game. Again, needed 119 to tie for the league lead. As again, Bridge dishes it off to Samuel Giguère, a little crossing pattern. It'll be 2nd down and medium into Saskatchewan territory here. Ball down near the 40-yard line.
Well, Bridge in the Alouette offense, considering not just that it's a rookie quarterback, but a number of young players out there, and obviously we know that that's the case for Saskatchewan as well. But for Montreal, a number of players offensively who haven't played a lot of snaps this season, moving the ball well.
Bridge looking to hitch it. He does. Out again to Sutton. Terrell Sutton with a stiff arm and another first down. And a penalty flag that flew right after that. Jeff Knox Jr. has led the Saskatchewan Roughriders all-time this season for tackles in a season. 107 coming in, brought him down.
Major foul, face mask. Saskatchewan number 49, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And it was Knox who had the tackle, but also the face mask. This will move it right into the score zone.
You just see it at the tail end of this tackle. The hand slides up underneath the face mask of Sutton as the 2 players go to the turf.
Owls to the red zone now. Brandon Bridge, who has not thrown a touchdown pass yet. Steph Logan on the reverse, and another penalty flag at the end of that play as Logan was tackled near the sideline. Once again, Andre Proulx.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness, Montreal number 68, 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Philip Blake with the infraction.
Blake and Jeff Parrott, the only 2 Montreal offensive linemen starting at their usual positions. Just watch the right side of your screen. You'll see him coming right there to crack John Chick at the end of the play. Block deemed unnecessary.
So 2nd and 21. Pulls it back. Goes to the sideline, and the football is fumbled, and it is scooped up by the Riders. Junior Montreal picking up the fumble after the completion. So a turnover by the Alouettes. Saskatchewan football. Junior Montreal picking up the fumble after Alex Charette dropped the football, and the league right now looking at this. Every turnover is reviewed.
This one's a real bang-bang play, but Charette gets it, looks it in, tucks it. Now, when you see it at full speed, it seems almost as if the defender arrives at the same time as the football. That's Don Unamba, the former Winnipeg Blue Bomber, who separates Charette from the rock.
What, man? Don't be just making calls that ain't in our playbook. I don't have to worry about that.
Saskatchewan team last in the CFL in turnover ratio, takeaway, giveaway. Two teams that don't score a lot of points here today as well, hence their records. Saskatchewan and Montreal near the bottom in scoring points, bottom most offensive categories, except for running the football. Bob Dice's Roughriders #1 yardage per game. So Keith Price with his second series, 3.5 to go, opening quarter, 7-0 Als in the final game of the 2015 regular season. Low snap, Price now trying to get a throw off here, and he has to roll out. He's got some running room. And he finally runs out of bounds, picking up a couple yards. Had to run about 40, though.
Keith Price held in check thus far by the Montreal defense. Mentioned John Bowman, his career high 17 sacks in 16 games this season. Kyler Ellsworth, middle linebacker, playing his first game since going on the injured list in Week 11. At D-tackle, we expect to see a lot of Jesse Joseph, former UConn star who was the 23rd overall pick back in 2013.
Price over the top. Has his man, S.J. Hydera. Former Laval star. Kind of a reunion for some of the Vanier Cup combatants from a few years ago. Hydera with the catch.
Hydera, one of the stars of Laval's 2012 Vanier Cup win in Toronto.
Handoff in Anthony Allen, right side. One tackle is missed up near the 55-yard line, just into Montreal territory and just short of a first down. 9-yard scamper for the former star from Georgia Tech.
Anthony Allen shared the backfield early on with Jerome Messam, and then it really became Messam's job on a full-time basis for the majority of the season. But with the Canadian back dealt to Calgary at the trade deadline, Anthony Allen has taken over full-time duties here. Continues to be pretty productive with the ball in his hands.
There he is again, plows his way for the first down. So Price has his riders moving the football. Saskatchewan looking for its first road win of the season, 0-8. The last time they went without a win, 0-9 back in 1999. Here they also suffered 15 losses, have never suffered 16. Price swinging it out of the backfield now, and it's Stephen Houston. Barrels forward down near the 42-yard line. Houston out of Indiana, native of Little Rock, Arkansas.
Houston becomes the second man in that backfield tandem down the stretch. 225-pound back.
Big wide body there. Stephen Houston, second short yardage once again. Allen's in the backfield with Price, who changes the play. Riders are operating against a breeze here. 30 seconds left in this opening quarter.
Saskatchewan number 53, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
So what would have been likely a running play now is likely a passing play for the Riders. Price goes back in shotgun now. Owls load up that line. Here they come. Price delivers far side for Ryan Smith. First down, Saskatchewan. Good on Keith Price to recognize that blitz and let that fly.
Well, Price did a nice job to stand in here. Ends up taking a shot in the legs just as he gets rid of this football. As Nick Boulay just tried to trip him up. Nice connection there with another one of the good young riders, Ryan Smith, second-year man.
One of the catch of the year candidates, Ryan Smith, had some spectacular highlights this year. There have been some positives for the Riders. Price now looks end zone, has Smith all alone. Touchdown. Penalty flag after, but it's a touchdown, Saskatchewan. Unnecessary roughness after the touchdown. Ryan Smith's 6th of the season. Keith Price found him wide open. And with the convert upcoming, the Riders can tie.
And a bust on the back end for the Montreal Alouettes.
After the play, major foul, unnecessary roughness. Montreal, number 10. A 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff to open the second half.
So final play upcoming here of this first quarter. They'll add that play on, that penalty on the kickoff when the second quarter begins. After this convert attempt from Tyler Krapina in his third game now with the Riders, the former McMaster Marauder, and he's wide right. So no point after for Krapina, with a touchdown. Price to Smith. Final day for the Owls and the Riders in 2015 before they look to next season. A couple of good highlights for a couple of good young players so far. Second quarter upcoming. For the Owls and the Roughriders, two teams not into the playoffs, so some might say it's a meaningless game, certainly for the standings, but there is a lot of...
Some might say that.
I think you're a little giddy. Yeah. There is meaning to, obviously, to a lot of these players who are trying to seek jobs for next season. How would you approach as a player? I don't know if you ever played in one of these games where, you really don't have much to play for.
Yeah, I mean, I can honestly say I was never in a situation where both teams were out coming into the final game. I had once in my career where my team wasn't going to be going to the playoffs, where we could play spoiler. And as an Argo in 1995, we came into the final game at 3-14. The Calgary Stampeders came in at 15-2, and we wanted to keep them from tying a CFL record, 16 wins in a season.
Well, look out here. Al's got it.
We actually beat them, so I mean that meant something.
Well, it does. The games do mean something, particularly for Brandon Bridge. Let's go to the sideline now and join John Liu.
Well, thank you, Rod. And Brandon Bridge certainly has the benefit of a CFL legend as his offensive coordinator, but he has a CFL Hall of Famer firmly in his corner. Bridge was 11 years old when he first met Damon Allen at the Square One Mall in Mississauga when he won a Damon Allen autographed football as part of a raffle. Now, fast forward 7 years later, when Bridge was about to go south to Alcorn State for college, his mom Suzanne reached out to Allen through his quarterback school to see if he would tutor her son. Allen agreed to, and when he went to the Bridge home in Mississauga, he walked in the door, and his exact words were, "This is full circle," because not only did he remember Bridge, but he remembered Brandon winning the autographed football, and ever since that time, Allen has been a mentor of sorts to Bridge, speaking most recently to him this week when he told Bridge he made Bridge promise to watch film every day, take notes, ask questions, and learn from Kevin Glenn, because he firmly believes that Bridge will get his shot next year with that C on his chest, C standing for Canadian. Guys.
All right, thank you so much, John. And I guess Brandon Bridge can thank Damon Allen as well. There's another pass to Cody Hoffman, and this will move the sticks. It's funny how that stuff works, though, for young players in any sport to be inspired. Those first meetings, you never know what they can lead to.
No, exactly. And for Brandon Bridge, obviously things have panned out very well. A guy who had a terrific career at St. Marcellinus High School in Mississauga.
And down to South Alabama, where they called him Air Canada. Hand off to Sutton. Brandon Bridge has been getting some help from Damon Allen, but also from Anthony Calvillo and Kevin Glenn.
When AC took over, he really broke it down to us and helped the whole quarterback room really pick it up and kind of see what the defense is going to do to you. So AC's really helped me a lot. Now this whole time, just learn a lot, and especially when Kevin Glenn came in, he also helped me a whole lot. So two great minds like that for a lot of years in the CFL really kind of broke it down.
Bridge. Sutton didn't hang on, so officials getting in the way of a possible melee over there. So think about Brandon Bridge now as they'll bring the kick team up. But Brandon Bridge is getting help from Damon Allen, Anthony Calvillo, Kevin Glenn. Yeah, he's getting a lot of help.
Not a bad collection of resources. You see him talking to KG on the sidelines right now. And pretty good guys to be around. It'll be interesting to see what the Alouettes do at quarterback next season. Obviously, they've got a pretty deep stable of young guys there, but they'd probably like to have a veteran around to mentor them.
Here's Ryan. Penalty flag down. We'll tell you about it in a moment. Early second quarter, 1-point ball game in Montreal. So here we are. Next week, Shaw Road to the Grey Cup. Divisional semifinals in Hamilton. Argos, Cats. Followed, of course, by the West semifinal. BC Lions and the Calgary Stampeders on this TSN network all next week. Can't wait for the playoffs to begin. Saying goodbye to the regular season today here. There's Houston again up near the 39-yard line, and Kyler Ellsworth in there. Ellsworth makes his return. It's been a year of a lot of injuries for both of these teams. Look at their records, but these teams have lost over 500 man games to injuries together. Both teams riddled, particularly Montreal in the linebacking core.
Well, you look at the linebacking core, but also for both teams, as they sit out of the playoffs. John Climie talked about it in the pregame show. The injuries at quarterback and the number of bodies they've been forced to go through at that position, and it's clearly reflected in their records and the fact that they won't be advancing beyond today.
All became undone for the Riders in their first game as well. Darian Durant's injury that put them back in a big way. An 0-9 start to the season. Price in trouble. Delivers over the top. Hydera again will move the chains. Keith Price finding S.J. Hydera.
With John Bowman in pursuit off the edge. Pretty good battle over there. Bowman and Xavier Fulton.
Bashing again is Anthony Allen. A lot of different players in and out of both lineups, though. Riders go with their fourth quarterback of the year starting. Alouettes have had seven quarterbacks. What a day for John Bowman. One more sack, and he will win the sack title for 2015. Tied with Westerman. And Rob Bagg had slipped and the ball was thrown behind him. So the kick team's going to come out here now for the Roughriders.
Keith Price having a tough time getting any sort of consistency offensively as he now chats with the offensive coordinator, Jacques Chapdelaine, on the sidelines. This is part of the challenge in terms of really getting an evaluation on these young players. It's a difficult situation. I mean, they're working with guys they may not have worked with a lot.
Here's the fake. And it works. Right at the first down marker. Allen's looking for a better spot.
Yeah, he got the close-up view on that one.
So Saskatchewan comes up with a little trickery here and keeping the drive alive.
Yeah, not bad recovery here for Anthony Allen.
We're lucky that worked out. It was a bad snap, and Anthony Allen still was able to get the first down. Whoops.
Yeah, it looked like the whole offensive line set. And the backs, everybody was expecting that play to be going left. This ball was snapped to the right. Okay, Allen adjusted well.
Another first down here for the Riders. Near the 39-yard line as they pound the rock one more time with Anthony Allen. Keep this drive going. Not heard from Weston Dressler in this game yet. Dressler comes in 72 yards away from 1,000. That would be the 6th time in his career. I'd be surprised if we hear from Weston Dressler soon. 1st and 10. Inside the 40. Pistol formation. Price now. Out of the backfield. And on the sideline is Allen. This has been the Anthony Allen drive down near the 20-yard line.
Allen on the ground game. Allen on the punt fake. Now Allen with a catch to move the sticks again. The success that he's had running the football, continuing the way the season has gone for him personally, averaging over 6.5 a pop. You see the respect he gets on the ground with that run fake and play action off of it, as Keith Price had all kinds of time.
A guy who spent time in the NFL with the Baltimore Ravens, played with them. Price now, and he is rocked. What a hit he just took from Chris Aki. Well, if Keith Price did not know the perils of being a starting quarterback, he knows it now as Aki unloads on Keith Price. Boom.
Big jolt there, Chris Aki. 1st round pick in 2015 for Montreal.
Fumbled football. Turnover, Montreal.
Chris Aki, one of the Owls' 2 first-round picks, out of Wilfrid Laurier University. He's going to come from the very left side of the screen. 9 men up at the line of scrimmage, and you can see the confusion it creates. He's the free guy. Keith Price, young quarterback, not really recognizing he's got to get the ball out of there. Essentially, in the blocking scheme, the free guy is his to account for.
Far side now for Samuel Giguère into the sunlight. Went up high, brought it down. It looked like a bit of a suicide pass for a moment. And it worked out for Sammy Giguère as Brandon Bridge completes another one. It's going to be 2nd and 1 now.
Sam Giguère, inside receiver in that 4-man set to the wide side. Shapes up almost like a hitch screen.
Bridge moves the first down marker again. Brandon Bridge, 9 of 10, 50 yards passing so far, so very effective. There is the legend AC.
Yeah, AC like numbers, 9 of 10 to start this one.
Yes.
Well, Bridge is a guy, he actually started his college career at Alcorn State, where former NFL, the late Steve McNair played there. That's where the Air Canada nickname came from, a play on Air McNair.
Terrell Sutton runs into a wall of white. Push back, he'll get progression and then a penalty flag after. Bunch of chirping going on and some rough stuff. Tyron Brackenridge Matt Terrell Sutton head on.
A couple of heavy hitters there.
After the play, objectionable conduct, Saskatchewan number 41, 10-yard penalty, first down.
So it was Brackenridge.
I'm not sure exactly what was said as the Alouette running back was down, but the officials didn't like it.
Elicited a penalty flag. Moves the ball to the 50. Sutton going backwards now, and now forwards, and Terrell Sutton continues to churn out the yardage. Not bad for a guy only a couple of seasons ago, Dwayne, was thinking about walking away from football.
Struggling to find an opportunity, but finally getting a chance this year to be the #1 guy for the Montreal Alouettes. He's had a very productive year for them.
Not this time. They try it up the gut. Keep in mind that Sutton was kind of the odd man out for a while. And Brandon Whitaker before him. Then Jerome Messam was here for a bit. And Brandon Rutley's been here. Chris Jennings and Terrell Sutton has become the feature back. And moving forward, it looks like he can settle some roots here in Montreal.
Yeah, it's been interesting to see the evolution of the Alouettes offense this year as they've frequently dressed 3 American running backs. Sutton, the guy getting the bulk of the carries, but Brandon Rutley getting his share of touches. Steph Logan occasionally on offense, but playing primarily on special teams. Logan, in fact, Montreal's nominee for both most outstanding player and top special teams player.
3rd down and 1. The ball had to get to the 50-yard line. It looks like they will spot it there, and Anthony Boone is playing official. They are calling for the sticks. If you go by the far sideline, that marker is right on the 50. So if that ball is touching the 50, tell you what, though, they have marked that very close to the 50. This has got to be a first down. Booyah. Boone goes back to the sideline. 7-6 game here. Under 6 to go before halftime. Two teams will become spectators next week. They'll be watching the playoffs. Al's streak of 19 straight years ending. Whistles now and movement at the line. Penalty flag in the backfield too.
Procedure, Montreal, number 62, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, Jake Pietrowski, Barrie, Ontario native, out of University of Guelph, second-year man, making his first start here today.
Again, very much like a preseason or an exhibition game for a lot of these players, an evaluation game for a lot of the coaches, getting a chance to see some of these players live fire. Bridge now rolling. Here comes the rush. He's in trouble. He throws it to the far sideline, and rattled over there is Cunningham. And once again, Donnie Numba lays the lick. This is going to be second and very long now.
All the routes were going on the left side. It's slide protection going that way to let Brandon Bridge get on the move. So all the receivers are going right to left across the field. When Bridge decided to scramble back the other way, he was left with very few options. That's the big loss on the play.
Well, they need that big one here, but they shoveled it off, and Saskatchewan said, no doing. It'll be 3rd down. Brandon Bridge's completion percentage is pretty high, but not a lot of long passes, only 15 yards so far, his longest. Haven't really been airing it out, so they'll have to kick, and Boris Beatty.
Get off.
High snap. Ooh, very close. Dangerous to being blocked there. Langford on the near sideline. Knocked out of bounds. Just over 4 minutes to go here, first half. Owls by 1.
Forget the metrics. Who's a better team?
College football.
There you see a couple of former finalists. Brendan Labatt, former winner of the most outstanding offensive lineman award, as all the team nominations were made official this week.
We've got to have our votes in by midnight tonight.
Votes need to be done by midnight tonight. So there are all the team nominees.
Are we going to give away your votes here today, 40? The 40 awards. Hey,
I'll tell you. You know, we'll do the votes based on the current format, but we may also discuss exactly how I would chase the format. Given
Saskatchewan, number 69, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Okay, so Ford's finalists, these are your guys.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously a tough year for the BC Lions, but I think Javon Olafioye remains one of the best in the business. The Lions didn't give up a ton of sacks this year. Sir Vincent Rogers
is
my winner.
Winner.
He's a guy who solidified
winner.
The offensive line for the East Division champions, the newly crowned East Division regular season winners.
We might as well just forego all the voting and just go by what you say. Oh, there's another bad snap. Price is in trouble again, and down he goes. So going back to that, though, see, you're giving away your votes or your selections or what you might think it might be. If you had your druthers, you would not have the format the way it is.
I'd scrap the format, and as I've stated on several topics before, I think the league is, I love the CFL, that's no secret. But sometimes a little guilty, I think, of doing things a certain way because that's how they've always done them. And even the team nominations. Sometimes you have the two best guys in a given category could be on the same team. I'd scrap the team nominations. Nominate the best guys. Get the two best guys in the league as the finalists.
John Bowman almost had sack number 18 as Price got rid of that very quickly, wisely. Otherwise, Bowman had another. Already today is one away from taking over the sack lead, which would mean the sack title for 2015. And I wondered before if the play that John Bowman was at before. Let's take a look at this. This actually could be sack number 18. He goes down. Oh, well, Price would go down, and it's a tag there by Aki.
Look for the official scoring on that one.
Penalty flag flies. Looks like the Riders got out a little too early. Steph Logan. 5 interior linemen have to stay until that ball is booted. Let's see if that's the call. I like your thinking about that, though. I like your thinking on a lot of things, but I mean...
Well, thank you, Rod.
I think we've had so many conflicts before.
Well, the thing where I think the boat is being missed is I think that with the awards, you want to create as much drama, as much intrigue as possible. And that comes when you have the best guys up for it.
There is no infraction on the play. No infraction. First down.
But whether it's 2 finalists, 3 finalists, whatever it may be, but I don't think that the team nomination format is the best way to go about it. Because sometimes the most intriguing vote, you go back to 2011, it was fascinating in Montreal. Anthony Calvillo ended up being the East finalist for most outstanding player. But it probably hurt him in the final vote against Travis Lule that a lot of people felt that Calvillo wasn't necessarily the most outstanding on his team that year.
Look at this toss by Bridge. Just underthrown for Cunningham.
That was a year that both Jamel Richardson and Brandon Whitaker both had outstanding seasons themselves. Open it up.
Al's almost opened it up right there. 3-minute warning before halftime.
Back in the studio along with Jock, and we got the coach, and we got Milt, and we got Schultze. We're going to talk about Brandon Bridge. Also going to talk about what the Owls and the Riders need to do to get back into the playoffs next year. The man has a telestrator, and he's not afraid to use it. Back to Rod and Wayne.
All right. Thank you, men. Looking forward to that. As Bridge retreats into the shadows now, back in the sunlight, and will have to take it out of bounds and will be short of the first down and just on top of the signage on the far side. So before the guys get to it, what do you think the Alouettes and the Riders have to do to get back to the playoffs next year?
They definitely need to improve, Rod.
There you are. You've been thinking about that for a while?
I've given it a lot of thought. I think they need to win more games.
I don't think either side would have thought their seasons would have unraveled. Montreal was right into it, right up until the last couple of weeks. Saskatchewan's been out of it for a while.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it, obviously on a serious level, the teams need stability at quarterback. Riders went through injury issues, first with Darian Durant, and then with Kevin Glenn. Pooch kick there from Montreal.
Saw a little onside kick last night in Ottawa. Red Blacks. Here's the thing. I think both the Riders and Als and everybody else in the league who didn't have a good season could take a look at Ottawa and say, hey, why not us?
Yeah, and it's a couple-year process, as I think it was in Ottawa. Obviously, a little different situation there as an expansion team, but a team that made some upgrades via free agency. But as well as that, they had a plan and they stuck with it. Through tough times, they kept faith in their plan. And at least for the regular season, things have panned out.
Again, Price scrambling. We're still waiting to hear as you see John Bowman making the tackle. If Bowman would be given credit for that sack earlier, which means indeed he would have 18 on the season. He's had one for sure in this ball game. Crack statistician Steve Daniel from the league is looking into it. 2nd down and 5 for the Riders from their 36-yard line. Price under siege again, looking for Dressler, who still has not caught a football in this first half. And will have to hurry some in the second to get to 1,000 yards for a 6th occasion.
Well, Weston Dressler was a perennial 1,000-yard guy prior to last year, where he missed a portion of the season due to an NFL tryout, returning around mid-season last year. But back to form this year despite the instability in terms of who is throwing them the football.
Steph Logan being chased around near the 28. 1:39 to go. Brandon Bridge brings out his offense once again. Rich talked about the outer influences, his inspirations, but he wants to be an inspiration as well.
I just want to give Canadian kids hope, like CIS kids, like hope. Just like if you want to play professional ball, like you have a chance, even if you went down to the States or coming up, like regardless of your nationality, like you always have a chance. So just don't stop believing and just trust your instincts.
Well, Brandon Bridge, day like today, if he can get a win and put some big numbers up, get some more confidence, you never know what could happen. The age-old argument of the Canadian quarterback. At one time, you know, decades and decades ago, we had people like Russ Jackson and Frank Cosentino in the game. Don Getty, Jerry DiTilio used to play with the Owls.
DiTilio, a former most outstanding Canadian award winner. Most recent quarterback to win that award.
Alex Charette. But what has happened to so many Canadian-born quarterbacks who have played mostly CIS? Now keep in mind that Bridge is NCAA trained. CIS quarterbacks have gone to the CFL, but they've changed position, become receivers.
Yeah, that's been the case for a number of guys. Obviously, Brad Sinopoli, the most recent. Kyle
Bridge for Hoffman's got it. Nice catch. Cody Hoffman. Colin Bridge says, that's my boy.
Brandon Bridge's biggest play of the day thus far. On the money for Cody Hoffman.
42-yarder 40, and quickly they come to the line of scrimmage.
Well, good poise. He steps into that one.
There's another toss. This one is wide. Minute 7 to go. A couple of guys in this ball game were quarterbacks in college. Kyle Graves at Acadia. He's on the Alouettes roster. Plays some special teams and some receiver. And also Marc-Olivier Brouillette was a quarterback in the CIS and now one of the best safeties in the CFL.
Yeah, Brouillette with the Montreal Carabins. The Alouettes are a team. They've looked at some Canadian quarterbacks over the years. I mean, we mentioned Jerry Detilio. Luc Toussignon was another one. Got some starts with the Alouettes during his time. More recently, Kyle Quinlan had a shot with the Owls.
There's Shiger, first down and more inside the 10. Kyle Quinlan came in the same year as Kyle Graves came in. Quinlan didn't change positions, but a lot of people thought Kyle Quinlan might have been a guy who could have made it. Excellent quarterback at McMaster.
Yeah, former Vanier Cup champion. Bridge hooks up with Giguère.
So loads of time here for the Owls to get this to the end zone. 2 touchdowns in the game. Anthony Boone on a plunge earlier. Ryan Smith on a touchdown toss. Bridge over to Sutton. Sutton is going to dance in. Touchdown! Throws his first CFL touchdown pass.
The kid has looked good here in the first half. Good game plan put together for him. He made sure he got that ball.
There's one for the trophy case, and I'm sure Papa's going to get that as well. How about this? Brandon Bridge to Sutton.
Nice job there off play action. One of the big question marks about Brandon Bridge coming into this rookie season had to do with his accuracy. I think there's been a lot of growth, a lot of development for him over the course of this season. You compare Brandon Bridge now to the kid we saw in week 1. Granted, it's a different situation. You don't want to put too much stock in it.
Oh, you read it out. He's doing that.
6 play, 82 yards, a minute 4, and Brandon Bridge. A lot of people hoping that this is the first of many.
Yeah, absolutely. Bridge 15 of 17 thus far in this ball game. 122 yards and the touchdown pass that you just saw.
How about you, Mr. Bridge? That's what it's about. And you know who's probably cheering right now too? Our buddy Julio.
I think so.
Caravana, last Canadian quarterback to start a couple decades ago. This game far from over though. 14-6 score. We still have a half to play. 35 left in the first half. Getting lots of airtime too. So Boris Beatty. Ball is bobbled. Stephen Houston takes it up the middle to the 30. Maybe one last, or at least a couple cracks here for Price and company. You know, Brandon Bridge is in a really good situation in so many ways when you think about it. Yes, he was thrown into the fire early on, and maybe it was kind of like...
Hey, shout out to the same friends in the same basement. Kyle Bridge, Nathan Gordon, Ramon Whitley, Tyree Dillon, Robert Calcutt, Dennis Butcher. Play me in 2K whenever I get back on Monday, baby. Play me in 2K. Hey, Toronto Raptors, man.
You might get on 2K. Wait, it's going. There goes Price sliding in. 24 seconds to go. But, you know, the situation with Calvillo here, getting Kevin Glenn around, and knowing that there is this opening here, having Rakeem Cato and all the quarterbacks, and really learning, maybe also by some other players' failures this season, has to be good for the kid.
Yeah, I mean, a number of young quarterbacks in here going through the same thing at the same time. If they're all making the most of the opportunity.
Idera again has had 3 catches today. Played in BC and again out of Laval.
Yeah, second round pick of the Lions a couple years ago, traded to Hamilton prior to this season, but released by the Cats out of training camp. Caught on here with the Saskatchewan Roughriders, looking for more permanent employment.
So 9 seconds to go. So it'd have to be a very quick toss. I don't know if they can get it into field goal range here. The only hope would be perhaps a penalty flag and then into field goal range, or a Hail Mary end zone. Penalty flag now. Half can't end on a penalty. Looking for Dressler and others, including Roosevelt, downfield.
54. Penalties decline. That's the end of the second quarter.
So a very good first half. And here comes Dad. What a great moment. Colin Bridge has his boys football. On his first touchdown pass as a CFL quarterback. Something special here on the final day of the
tailback. Now gives him the ball in space, and once again, short, quick game throw, double outs. Montreal loves to run. Another screen on the outside. So worked his way in early in the game, gave him the ability to do some of this stuff too, using his legs. And this is where Brandon Bridge got great abilities as a runner. Okay, and then later in the second quarter, he hits the play versus man coverage right up in the seam, and then gets the touchdown here. So a nice progression for him early in the game. Short, controlled passes, not a lot of thinking. Second quarter, as he gets more comfortable, they give him the ability to look downfield and take some of those shots downfield, Rod. And it's a nice first half for the kid, and great percentage for passing percentage.
Yeah, 14 for 18, 113 yards, and then that touchdown pass right at the end for Brandon Bridge. So audition time for a lot of players, including the quarterbacks Keith Price as well for Saskatchewan. He threw a touchdown pass earlier, this one to Ryan Smith, but it's the Alouettes at the half leading at 14-6. Back with more after this. Now at next year and what these two teams need to do to get back into the playoffs, beginning with the Alouettes.
Yeah, well, I think with Montreal, it's got to start at the head coaching position. I mean, you think about since Mark Trestman left after the 2012 season, there's been absolutely no consistency there. And Dan Hawkins was brought in the hopes that he could replicate that magic of bringing a U.S.-born head coach up to Canada and have him transform the game as Trestman did. Didn't work out, lasted 5 games. Tom Higgins lasted a season and a half. He's out. Both times Jim Popp comes in. Look, Jim Popp's not a head coach. So they've got to find somebody in that position if they're going to have any shot at all.
When you talk about head coach, let's talk about the most important piece to that puzzle, and that's quarterback. They need to bring in an experienced quarterback. Do you re-sign Kevin Glenn? There's going to be some other guys may be available. Ricky Ray, Travis Lulay, Trevor Harris. One of those guys may be available also. But also they need to develop a young quarterback. They not have allowed a young quarterback to develop since Anthony Cavill. They haven't developed that young quarterback, bring in that experienced quarterback, and they have a chance of making the playoffs.
Most significant, second most significant, third significant, I think, is getting an offensive coordinator and sticking with that coordinator for an extended period of time. I realize Anthony Calvillo holds the position now, but when you go back to 2013, it has been a shuffle of people time and time again. I mean, you go way, way back. You're looking at Turk Schoenert, Ryan Dinwiddie, Rick Borman, Doug Barry, Mike Miller. Remember Mike Miller way back in 2013? You get that stability at that offensive coordinator position. That's going to help your quarterback a lot.
Speaking of way back in 2013, that's just 2 years ago. The Saskatchewan Roughriders were the best team in the CFL. This year they have only 2 wins. Now, I know a lot of this is on the injury to Darian Durant the last couple of years, but what else? What do the Riders need to do?
They have to make some tough decisions on the high-price veteran players, whether they want to keep them or whether they want to go with you.
Get a GM and head coach in place right away, and also find a backup for Darian Durant, a good backup. He's great when he's in there, but the last couple of years he's been hurt.
Well, guys, I look no further than that defense in Saskatchewan. It is terrible, and that is where the focus has to be. Last against the run, last against the pass, last in sacks, last in takeaways. Do you realize this defense has got half the takeaways of Hamilton? I mean, this defense isn't helping their football team at all. They need to get that. Look, Darian Durant's going to sort things out. I believe offensively they're going to be fine. Fix the defense, you got yourself a chance.
Remember how good Durant looked, too, right in that opening game against Winnipeg, and then he went down with the Achilles, and it's like that was it for the Rough Riders season. And trailing right now at the half in their final game, looking for their 3rd win, but right now it's the Alouettes leading it. Brandon Bridge, we're going to hear from him as well with John Liu coming up after throwing his first CFL touchdown pass. Stick around. This is the CFL on TSN. Regular season ends today. Next week, it's playoff time. The Shaw Road to the Grey Cup beginning at noon Eastern with the Argos and Ticats in the East semi, followed by the Lions and Stamps in the West semi-final for the right to move on to Edmonton for the Western final. And in this regular season finale, it's the Alouettes leading the Riders 14-6. Here's Milt with the halftime stats.
Well, first of all, congratulations to Bowman, 100th career sack. Also, Sutton, 67 yards, 52 away from rushing title. But the man of the hour, Air Canada, Brandon Bridge. Not bad for your first half as a starting quarterback.
Throws a touchdown pass. Here he is now with John Liu.
Half as a starting quarterback.
Throws a touchdown pass. Here he is now with John Liu.
Brandon, when you visualized your first CFL start, how much did that first half resemble what went on in your mind?
I kind of resemble that. AC's been a great mentor for me. So has the rest of the quarterbacks, KG especially. Because KG played for Saskatchewan, so we really watched film, broke it down. He was telling me all the weaknesses and what they like to do. So that pretty much goes out for the whole offense, like that first drive.
Your dad is in the audience this afternoon. He was extremely excited with your first touchdown pass to Tyrell Sutton, and then we see that you got the football to him. How special is it for you to have at least one of your parents here today?
That's very special. I love my dad. Growing up, I always wanted to be like him. When I was a little kid, I would just try to follow him around, and it actually means a whole lot for him to make this trip down here on such short notice and get time off work and to be here for this game.
Hey, thanks for this, Brandon.
Thank you.
Nice father-son moment for a Canadian quarterback. First start by a Canadian QB in nearly 20 years in the CFL. And Bridges Alouettes have the 8-point lead with the second half kickoff coming up here on the CFL on TSN.
Three touchdowns in this ball game. Tyrell Sutton, Anthony Boone, and Ryan Smith for Saskatchewan, 14-6 Montreal. Speaking of Smith, he's with John Liu.
Ryan, if today is an audition of sorts for Keith Price, how did you think he showed in the first half?
Keith showed all week in practice that he could play, and he's doing a good job so far. We just got to sustain our drives a little bit better.
Knowing that Darian Durant will come back healthy next season, what are the takeaways from what's been a very difficult campaign for the Riders that you can take into next year?
It's tough, but we just got to keep getting better every single game, and it's the last game of the season, so there's nothing to hold back.
Thanks for this, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well, you heard the boys in the studio talking about the offseason for the Saskatchewan Roughriders and Bob Dice, also for Montreal. Maybe there are thoughts that this might even be John Bowman's last game. I can't see John Bowman walking away with the kind of career that he has had and the game he's had today. We can tell you that John Bowman has now taken over that sack lead with that sack on that play.
It was an epic sack.
That was reviewed and evaluated, and they deem it a sack. So John Bowman will win the sack title in 2015. And just having another spectacular season, all things considered, in a very off year for the Alouettes. Bowman may not be done yet here today. So the Owls will kick into the wind. Up 8. Ryan Langford. And shadows creeping over the field. Langford now trying to find a crease. 36-yard line is where he goes. And Keith Price will bring out his offense. Not a lot, but the big touchdown to Smith. The big play.
Numbers, Price 7 of 11. Just over 100 yards. Anthony Allen right on his average, 6.6 yards a pop. Ryan Smith, as you said, a guy who's emerged as a big play guy himself this season. Taking on a bigger role in that receiving core in his sophomore year. A couple catches, 48 yards, and the touchdown.
Handoff to Allen. Up to the 40-yard line. Let's go down to the sideline with more on John Bowman. Here's John Liu.
Thank you, Rod. And with the news that you just passed along, that the review revealed that Bowman got his second sack of the game and has taken over the league lead and will be the sack winner of the season. Just passed the news on to him on the sidelines before he took to the field for this sequence. Big grin on his face. Guys.
Well, should be. When you consider a couple of months ago when we saw John Bowman in this stadium, very disappointed look when he was a healthy scratch for a couple of games. And on the far sideline, it is Rob Bagg hauling it in just at the first down marker.
Well, Keith Price is getting to know Chris Aki up close and personal in this ball game. My feeling right now is Price doesn't like him much. Aki comes off the edge here. He forced a fumble in the first half. Blindside hit. Price didn't even see him coming. And here, again, he's the free man. Another solid shot on the young quarterback. Notice this time, though, Price learning from his mistakes. The first time he held on to the football when there was an unblocked man in the scheme. This time he got it out of them.
You can see he's grimacing in that huddle, shaking it off. They are measuring, and it's pretty clear even from here that that was a first down. So they'll move the sticks, and Price will try to keep this drive going. It's interesting to see what Montreal's done today, too. I'd say it's a pretty good banner year for them in the draft year when you think that almost all their draft picks from 2015 are in this ball game and starting.
Yeah, obviously a pretty good draft class, and also a bit of an indication too, though, of a changing of the guard. When that many rookie Canadians can make a team, clearly you needed some Canadian depth somewhat desperately.
Another first down here, it looks like, for Allen, who romps into Montreal territory.
As well as those 2015 picks, you've got a guy like Jesse Joseph who's seeing some action today. Who's a 2013 pick, but had a redshirt season in 2014. Excuse me, fall of 2013. Took some NFL shots in 2014 before making his way here this year. So another rookie that they've picked up through the draft to help that Canadian talent supply.
Plowing it up the middle, up near the 45-yard line. Saskatchewan just 2 wins this year. One came against these Alouettes late September, 33-21. Their other win this season against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. That kind of year for both teams. First time since 1995 that there's not at least a Saskatchewan or a Montreal in the postseason. Houston. Ball fumbled right into the Alouettes' arms, and Kyler Ellsworth's return is a good one. As the Riders turn it over again, Stephen Houston loses control. Montreal has it. Awards.
You see a couple rookie nominees there. There are all the team nominees. Boris Beatty, Jeff Knox featured in this game. Pretty good rookie class this year. You know, especially at the receiver position.
Knox, the Seagulls flying here, and turnover by the Riders. So now let's bring it down to your finalists, Mr. Ford, for the 40.
Yeah, now in the East, I liked a couple of those receivers, Vidal Hazelton, Terrence Tolliver. I went with Boris Beatty. I felt that he's a guy that...
Chris Schultz just fell off his chair.
I'll tell you, Beatty made a difference. He's a big kicker if it makes Schultz feel any better. But there's my winner. Darrell Walker. Monster season. He's something of a fantasy season for Walker since making his way into the lineup in the top 5 in the CFL in receiving, despite not playing for the first month and a half.
Samuel Giguère hauling it in. Do not tell John Liu to go tell Boris Beatty that on the sideline. So again, this is only a dramatization for television purposes only. And I know you have to make your votes later today, but I can tell who you're voting for.
These may or may not be my actual votes.
You might change your mind in the next 15 minutes. So you got Servention Rogers, you have Darrell Walker. We'll get through these. Boris Beatty, though, has had a monster year and could set a record for first-year kickers with his percentage almost 90%. We saw it coming, though, when we watched Boris Beatty kick against Tyler Krapinja. So isn't that, this is like Vanier Cup 2011, isn't it?
I always remember talking to McMaster coach Steph Potasic about the two kickers, because that year you've got Krapinja, who's 5'7", $185. Boris Beatty, he's a monster. He's like 6'4" with 230 pounds. And Steph Potasic told us about these two teams getting together for a preseason game that year. And he said he looked at the size difference between the two kickers, and he told Krapinja, "I sure hope there's no bench clearing brawl, so I don't like your odds."
Catch made and just over the line of scrimmage by Mikhail Davidson. Again, the former Montreal Carabin getting some playing time here today. Terrell Sutton, 7 yards away from 1,000. 47 yards away from the rushing title. Andrew Harris leading coming in. Jerome Messam in second. Sutton could become the rushing champion on the final day of the season. Look at this toss, and it is caught.
What a
B.J. Cunningham on a beautiful touch pass from Brandon Bridge. Wow. This is an alley-oop.
I mean, this is supposed to be the weakness of Brandon Bridge, and we've seen a couple of deep balls on the money. Absolutely perfect. When this ball first came out, it appeared it was going to be an overthrow, but he put just enough arc on it.
Sutton now is going to lose a yard or two. He might need 9 now for 1,000. Look at this.
So that catch by B.J. Cunningham, a guy who's already put together a decent highlight reel here in his first CFL season. Brandon Bridge likes what he sees. Cunningham, part of the Michigan State connection, and of course the alma mater of Montreal general manager and head coach Jim Popp. He and Kyler Ellsworth joining the Owls from that program this year, as well as James Badanis.
Bridge fires it in. Charette down near the 10-yard line. And as this game rolls along, Brandon Bridge gains more confidence by the play, by the toss.
Yeah,
look at this bullet.
He really does. Puts a little zip on this one. Good timing, good anticipation that the receiver is going to come open. And you heard him in that halftime interview with John Liu give lots of credit to both Anthony Calvillo and Kevin Glenn for helping him with his preparation this week.
And his dad. We're thankful made the trip from Mississauga. He's watching again. Brandon Rutley's into the ball game, and Rutley's getting a touch here inside the 5-yard line. And now with Rutley into the ball game, makes you wonder how much more Terrell Sutton we're going to see here in this second half. So it'll be second down and goal. Bridge has already had one touchdown pass, his first in the CFL. We have whistles. Play does not get off, and Alex Charette says, "No, please, come on. That would be my first CFL touchdown reception."
Montreal, number 68, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Puts it on the spot. He was hoping. Not that time. You heard Brandon with a little shout out to his mom at the end of that halftime interview as well.
Yes, he did.
Couldn't make the trip this weekend.
Well, they whistle this in now, and it's second down and goal. 8-point lead. Owls. Can Bridge find the end zone again? He looks, he throws, and that one was way off. He was going for Charette again. Charette had fallen, so the field goal unit will come out and to try to add 3 to the tally. This one was off.
Well, nonetheless, a solid drive put together by Brandon Bridge, who continues to impress. It's a guy who started as a true freshman. And you know, there's been this trend towards Canadian players who are trying to get to American schools to play their last year or two of high school down in the States or at prep schools and so on. Brandon Bridge played his entire high school career in Canada and went on to start as a true freshman at quarterback in a Division I program.
Lawrence Beatty, close to another first for a first-year CFL kicker. 17-6, Montreal. Dwayne Ford, the stakes are high at the mine, separating the men from the boys and the pay from the dirt. Gold Rush is back, kicking off with a 2-hour season premiere Tuesday at 8, only on Discovery. Keith Price back in shotgun. 17-6 ball game here, third quarter. Price play action. Look out now. He's swung down to the turf. Gabriel Napton has the sack. Life is miserable for Keith Price and the Riders in the second half.
Gabriel Napton has learned his lessons well, it appears, from John Bowman. Napton in double figures in sacks here in his sophomore season. Had one earlier in this game. That'll give him 11 on the year.
Second down and 16. Painted up is Napton. Four-man rush. Price checks it up. Roosevelt, first down. Dives forward. Name on Roosevelt. Former University of Buffalo star, also played with the Bills.
He's a guy who came into this game averaging close to 20 yards a catch on his 22 receptions this season. Good mid-season pickup.
Very economical. 5 touchdowns. I'll give it to Anthony Allen. He'll go left side on that far hash. 5 minutes to go, third quarter.
There's some good building blocks in place for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. And again, you heard the fellas talking at halftime a little bit about where this team needs to go and getting some stability, some depth, some reliability behind Darian Durant at the quarterback position is paramount. Rebuilding their Canadian talent base also going to be a key for this team.
Roosevelt again. Still nothing from Weston Dressler. That was one of the number intrigues that we had coming in, with Dressler 72 away from 1,000. Let's see, there's a couple of big gainers here. He's not going to get there, but Roosevelt back-to-back catches here. Back-to-back first downs for the Riders. Down to the 44. Price looking a little more poised now, too. Here come the Owls. Here's the blitz now. The heat and the ball over the top. Rob Bagg dropped it. Incomplete. And again, Price dusted as he threw that football.
This one intended for Rob Bagg, the Riders' nominee for most outstanding Canadian this season.
Billy Parker draped over him. Big second down play now for the Riders. One touchdown came in the first half to Ryan Smith. He's looking Dressler's way, but he's going down. Sacked again. A.M. Cash, Alan Michael Cash, with his 5th sack of the season.
Yeah, nice execution of the twist here by the Alouettes. Great stunt. Cash will line up on the nose, but he's going to come all the way around the outside to supply the pressure on this one. Just a 5-man rush, even numbers. But creating some confusion with that movement, that loop at the line.
6-pack of sacks. 2 for John Bowman in this ball game. Good angled kick from Ray Early. Steph Logan. Helmet down, brings it to the 19-yard line. Sack attack from the Owls today. Everybody's chipped in, from Napton to Bowman to Cash. 17-6 Alouettes. Welcome back to the Dwayne Ford Awards.
Here are your nominees for most outstanding special teams players. Steph Logan, a terrific season for the Montreal Alouettes to earn their nomination.
Dylan Ainsworth not playing today for the Riders, their representative. So let's go to 40's finalists, East and West, even though he doesn't like an East-West format.
My finalists were tough. Brandon Banks, just edging Stephen Logan for me. Logan very consistent as well, but those 4 punt return TDs huge. Rene Paredes had a bunch of game winners. He had a terrific year in the West, but I'm going with the return guy because he changes people's game plans. Brandon Banks.
Well, Brandon Banks, residue from last year still lingering, of course, in that Grey Cup game, and then huge focus this year. Got banged up yesterday in the loss to Ottawa, and there's Terrell Sutton going over 1,000 yards on the season. So the only thing left for Terrell Sutton now, a chance to win the rushing title.
The first career 1,000-yard season for the Northwestern product.
35 yards away from that. Late third quarter here. Davidson and around and lunges forward. Looks like the spot's just going to be a little bit short of a first down with 1:31 to go and counting before the fourth. You know, back to the special teams award. Rene Paredes had a big bounce back year as well.
He had a fantastic year. You know, you look at his numbers and some of the clutch kicks he made. I talked about 3 game winners, but a number of fourth quarter field goals that either broke ties or overcame a deficit. Basically, kicks that gave his team the lead. So huge year for Paredes, as you said, getting back to form. Should be a very interesting vote.
Well, having said that, too, coming off, though, a Grey Cup winning season for the Calgary Stampeders. Want to get back there again. They will host BC in the West Division semifinal next week. Edmonton waits in the wings. Here is Sutton again, and obviously the Alouettes is Terrell Sutton. Has the rushing title in his crosshairs here.
Well, he snuck up very quietly. And the first 2 guys to hit 1,000, Andrew Harris and Jerome Messam. Terrell Sutton, a guy who's missed a couple games over the course of the season. This is his 15th game of the year.
24 yards away from the rushing crown of 2015. Brandon Rutley's out there now. Brandon Bridge is running for his life. He gets hit hard. That's the final play of the third quarter. Als lead 17-6. And the final quarter coming up of the 2015 regular season. Can Terrell Sutton win the rushing title? Can Brandon Bridge get his first win? We'll find out. Three quarters complete, 17-6 Montreal. Brandon Bridge has a chance to make some history today. Last time a Canadian quarterback started and won a game 30 years ago, Greg Vavra for the Calgary Stampeders.
Yeah, remarkable. Brandon Bridge doing it in style so far. It's not like he's stumbled his way at all in this football game. He's making good decisions with the ball. He's been very accurate with his passing. We've seen him use his legs at times, following in the footsteps of some pretty good ones over the years.
Some good ones through the years, including a guy who became premier of his province. Don Getty was a quarterback for Calgary. Russ Jackson, of course, greatest Canadian quarterback ever, one of the greatest quarterbacks in CFL history. Last Canadian to start a CFL game. And there's Jerry Titilio, is Julio Caravata, of course. And there's Titilio, who played here, wore number 9. Talked about Vavra, last Canadian to start and win back in 1985. Last Canadian to throw a touchdown pass in a game, Julio Caravata.
Julio Caravata.
Did a little run in himself.
I don't think Julio could run that fast now.
Yes. Now was an analyst with TSN 1040 in Vancouver. So quite a day for the young Canadian quarterback, Brandon Bridge, out of Mississauga, Ontario. 1 touchdown pass already. Trying to add up some more numbers, but he's in trouble. Now he escapes. He looks, and he chucks it deep. He has his man. It is a touchdown. What a catch. What a throw. B.J. Cunningham from Brandon Bridge. Air Canada. Touchdown.
Perfect landing.
That was spectacular.
Well, that is where it doesn't matter what the passport says, what the birth certificate says. This is a kid that has the tools to be a quarterback in the Canadian Football League. He gave you the full package there. The escape, the vision, the touchdown.
Well, Papa Bridge gonna have a few footballs to take back with him. It's another one from Brandon Bridge, a.k.a. Air Canada, down in South Alabama. And here comes Dad.
Hope he's got lots of room in the trunk.
Oh, there. You can't take the excitement anymore. And this is highlight reel stuff. This is when you get a glimpse of the possibilities. And anything is possible.
Another terrific throw on the move by Bridge. Great catch, great concentration by B.J. Cunningham to haul it in for his quarterback.
Well, the Bridge family, Papa here, and the family watching back home in Mississauga. Canadian pride here today.
Hey,
this has been something special to watch. Really has.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's not like Brandon Bridge has been muddling along. There you see the numbers, 19 of 24, a couple of touchdown passes, a couple of pretty good highlight reel plays.
Not done yet either. Now, bursting outside is Langford. Ryan Langford has the corner, and he's drilled into the signage. So, good field position here, 24-6. Fourth quarter.
You know, we talked earlier in this football game about what you play for in a situation like this. You know, people are going to think I'm joking when I say this, but very few teams get a chance to win the last game they play in a given season. This year, there are only 2 that are going to win their last game. It's going to be the Grey Cup champions and the winner of this one. So you can actually end your season on a positive note here.
Brett Smith is at quarterback now. Smith out of the pocket. Little juke and a first down. And Brett Smith, we've seen him do this season in a couple of starts. A guy who can move that pocket, escape, extend plays, and he does here.
Smith comes in averaging over 7.5 yards a carry. So a guy who uses his legs not just to extend plays, but to make plays.
Smith's numbers this season, again, they gave Keith Price a shot. Now they bring Smith in, a chance to bring the team back. Swallowed up is Anthony Allen. So Keith Price makes his first CFL start. Done for the day. Washington had a couple of flashes.
Yeah, Price So early in the development process. Then has spent parts of the last 2 seasons with the Riders.
Deep drop for Smith. Pocket collapses again, and there he goes again. Look at this move. Brett Smith is going to walk out of bounds. What a shake downfield on Cliff Coleman by Brett Smith. Big first down.
Smith, again, things break down. He's not a guy, once it breaks down, he's not looking to throw. He's looking to pull it down and take off. Picked up a couple of nice first downs doing just that.
Spent some time on the Argos practice roster last year. Out of Wyoming, native of Salem, Oregon. Smith. They load it up. He'll bring it back, and now he has Ryan Smith, who hauls it in for the touchdown. A beauty.
Yeah, terrific play call, great execution on the play action.
The Smiths connect. Brett to Ryan. And Ryan Smith has 2 touchdowns in this ball game, and the Riders bite back.
And you see, you've got the defensive line basically occupied by the run fake inside to Anthony Allen. The secondary gets concerned when they see Brett Smith break contain because they see what he's done on 2 previous plays on this drive. So Cliff Coleman got caught up short, thinking he might have to step up and run support. Ryan Smith got in behind him. Smith to Smith, perfect connection there. Great response for this young Rider group.
2-possession ball game, but loads of time left. Well, we might have a little barn burner here before this one ends on the final day of the season. Smith again, and the 2-point convert. Whoa, hang on. S.J. Haidara will not get any artistic impression marks, but he gets the 2-point convert. And it's a 10-point ball game. How about this, though? Brett to Ryan. Riders back in it. There's Ryan Smith, 2 touchdowns today. Boy, he's had a highlight reel style season. That was another one there. Great haul in Willie May style. And then afterwards,
well, Jamarcus Hardrick looking after his quarterback, right? You got to take care of your money guys.
As Brett Smith throws his 13th touchdown of the season. 10-point game, 11.5 to go. Steph Logan bashed near the 27. Let's get back to our ongoing subplot to today's game, and those are the end-of-year awards presented solely by Dwayne Ford.
Jeff Knox, a nominee in a few categories, but we'll look right now. The most outstanding defensive player category, Winston Venable, nominated for the Montreal Alouettes, not in the lineup today. Jeff Knox
This is a good list, by the way.
This is a fantastic list, and this to me was one of the toughest categories. And quite frankly, the 2 finalists are going to come up in a minute. My 2 finalists. Right now, I have no idea who I'm going to pick.
Really? You're going to flip a coin? Maybe you can't have a tie. Now again, Terrell Sutton, 34 yards away from the rushing championship. So here are your finalists. I'm interested in this. The year of the pick 6 and return touchdowns and defense. Well done. Jamal Westerman, Winston Venable.
Yeah, Winston Venable to me was an under-the-radar guy, but you talk to coaches around the league and everybody labels this guy as one of the keys of the Montreal defense. Westerman, not on a great team, but all the impact plays that he made, that's the way I'm leaning. But this to me, one of the toughest categories, no question. You've got Adam Bighill in there as well.
Here, Jeff Knox. Look at this toss from Bridge. Man, he's feeling like he's 7 feet tall right now. Cody Hoffman can't haul that in, so it's 3rd down. 10.5 to go. So Jamal Westerman joins our list.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the awards, and defense in particular, some of the nominees for that had great numbers. and Westerman, one of them, who played on a team where the defense as a whole wasn't great. You know, that was kind of the thing for me with Adam Bighill, who, it's no secret, is one of my favorite players in the Canadian Football League. He was a monster. I looked at Bighill's year this year with over 100 tackles versus 2012 with over 100 tackles. 2012, I felt there were more impact plays in terms of sacks, tackles for loss, interceptions. For him this year, their defense struggled a little bit.
Well, we have 4 awards down. We got a couple more left for Dwayne Ford, and 10 minutes to play. Might have a good finish here today, too.
14 days, only until November 15th.
Final time of the regular season. What a great year for Purelator and our buddy Chris Schultz, who's such a great ambassador, tackling hunger across Canada, a promise we can all help deliver, much to the chagrin of quarterbacks. Look at the amount of food that was collected.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Congratulations to the folks at Purelator. Congratulations to the CFL fans who do such a great job supporting that cause as well.
Toronto on Friday night, they brought loads of food. John Bowman in on Brett Smith that time again, and once again it's Ryan Smith. And he's tossed into the signage by Chip Cox. John Bowman takes over the sack lead today. He's a free agent, and his general manager / coach says he still has some life left in him.
I think he's proven that he has at least another year in him, and we hope to have him back in Montreal next season. John may get that 100th sack. He may have 105 by the end of this game, and he may say that's it. But I know he's going to go to that field and play his heart out, and as though it could be his last game. And but let's hope we see at least another year out of John.
Completion to Rob Bagg as Bowman was in there again, but Brett Smith getting some good protection this time. Again, John Bowman, just if you're joining us, did have his 100th sack earlier in the ball game. Has had 2 sacks, one a little iffy. That gives him the lead overall in the CFL season over Jamal Westerman. So look at this, loaded up, double tights, direct snap to Allen. What a tackle by Gabriel Napton off the high tops of Allen, and a loss of 5.
Well, tremendous play by Gabriel Napton. Another of the key defenders for the Montreal Alouettes. He's just going to hit that gap.
Smith avoids one and another, and he is so tough to get to. Brett Smith finds Ryan again. Ryan Smith's having a monster game here.
Well, the playing time that Brett Smith has garnered this year, though it wasn't the plan, obviously, opportunity created by injuries to Durant and Kevin Glenn in front of him. But going forward, the playing time that he's had this year is going to be so valuable, not just for him as an individual, but for this organization. And we talked about Brandon Bridge and the difference between seeing the rookie Canadian in week 1 versus in week 20. It's like night and day, and very similar with Brett Smith from when we saw him make his first start around mid-season to now at the end of the year. You can see the growth. You can see the increase in terms of his poise.
A day that Weston Dressler's been shut out. 3rd and inches. They load it up here. Brett Smith. Oh, a little hesitation there. He'll get the first down. That could have been a disaster. So they'll keep moving the football here, but not too many games go by when you do not call the number 7 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Very true. Very true, but this, as we've said from the outset, a bit of a unique game. Different feel to it. between these two teams who are in evaluation mode as much as anything else.
Having said that, don't be surprised if they go to Weston Dressler. They got to hurry here. He's looking to the right side. And look at this. Big tight end shot to Jamarcus Hardrick. Hey, that's what happens when you carry your court. You don't even say, listen, throw me the football, and I'll put you down.
Yeah, good negotiating tactic for the big fella. He's lined up. Right on the end. They go with a heavy line to the opposite side, but he's the end man. There's nothing dictating that the eligible guy has to be the third man out from the center. So they overloaded the line to the field. Hardrick is the end man on the line of scrimmage, which makes him eligible. Pretty good on the flat route. I don't think we're going to see him running any go routes anytime soon, though.
His first catch of the season, maybe ever. Smith, wow, you got to be kidding. And he throws it away. Somehow got it away. Brett Smith.
John Bowman thought he had number 102 here. Goes with the bull rush.
He still went after him. It's like a slippery fish.
That was a terrific job by Brett Smith to stay on his feet and avoid the loss.
Second down and goal. Under 6 to play here. Still a lot to play for statistically for these teams, and the Riders trying to get a rare road win this year. Smith to the end zone, and there he is. Finally, we call the name Weston Dressler. First catch, touchdown.
And as usual with Weston Dressler, it's a big one. That'll pull them within 4 as they line up for the extra point.
Well, the Riders, again, game so inconsequential, means nothing to the standings, but this team does not want to be known as the team that recorded 16 losses for the first time ever. They're trying to avoid that today in Saskatchewan history, and they're right in this ball game. Trapinha puts it through. It's a 3-point game. Weston Dressler all game long. No catches until now with 5:21 to go in the 4th. Touchdown, his 5th of the season.
Give me a little Tim Hortons.
The CFL on TSN is brought to you by GMC Sierra. We are professional grade. Bringing it down, final game, regular season. Weston Dressler's season will come to an end. So will the Saskatchewan Roughriders and Montreal Alouettes, but the Riders have made this interesting. Now 24-21 was 24-6. Now Steph Logan. We talked about some of the numbers statistically as well that we're looking at. John Bowman, the sack lead, which he has won the sack title. The question now as well, Brandon Bridge, can he get his first win as a Canadian starter? First win as a pro?
In the process, become the first Canadian quarterback to win since 1985.
Wow, and don't forget number 20, who is 20 yards away from the CFL rushing title, Terrell Sutton. 5 minutes to go. Probably get a healthy dose of Sutton on this drive. They play action it here. Charette. They'll have to throw again, it looks like. Now let's see what this kid has in crunch time.
Well, we'll certainly find out. So far in this ball game, I think it's safe to say that the stage hasn't been too big for Brandon Bridge. The pressure, the speed, any of those things, he's handled well. Escaping the rush, making big plays off the escape. Most recently, the touchdown pass to B.J. Cunningham. Bridge rifles it. There's Cunningham again. Oh, and he
Lost the football, but it was down. There was a penalty flag in the backfield. It is against the Alouettes, so this is coming back. Illegal block.
Illegal block. Ends to the face. Montreal number 69. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
So it will be second down and 18 yards here. 24-21, 4:05 and counting remaining for the Alouettes. Both of these teams saying goodbye to this regular season.
And good riddance.
And good riddance. You don't make the playoffs. Oh, feathering it in. Precision pass to Samuel Giguère, and they are saying that is complete.
Yeah, Marche Green disagrees. We'll take a closer look right here.
Alouettes trying to line up. I don't know if he caught this football.
Looked like there was a bounce in there.
It was short of the first down anyway.
Right there. That one bounced.
And they throw the challenge flag. So this is likely, this call is going to be overturned based on what we saw. It'll move them back even further. Good time to challenge as well.
Before that 3-minute warning.
Not only that, because the Alouettes do have the win. Beatty's got a huge leg. Moving back a little further.
Yeah. You see the ball take a quick hop as he starts pulling it into his body right there.
From the 32-yard line. Incomplete pass.
So the special teams remain out of the field, but they'll move it back. Bob Dice trying to get the win for the Riders here. Down 3, they're going to get the ball back, and they scored successive possessions. There's Ryan Langford again. He's had a couple nice returns. Twisted to the turf at the 42. Well, before this ball game began, John Bowman came running out of the tunnel. There he is. Normally number 7 was wearing number 58.
Yeah, that's the jersey of his injured teammate, Luc Brodeur-Jourdain, starting center. A little bit of tribute, a little bit of respect for his teammate who was basically playing on one leg last week. Torn knee ligaments.
Terrific player.
Yeah, Brodeur-Jourdain. Last player chosen in that 2008 draft. Here he is in 2015, the Alouettes nominee for Most Outstanding Canadian.
Couple of great cups along the way. Not bad. Brent Smith wants the football. Clapping his hands. Crowd was into it. And we have a flag.
Time count violation. Time count violation. Saskatchewan number 16. 5-yard. First down receiving.
Well, the 3-minute warning as well on the field. We'll be back.
9th to 15th.
Time winding down on the season and the 40 awards.
There's a couple of the league's nominees for Most Outstanding Canadian. The injured Luc Brodeur-Jourdain, as well as Saskatchewan's Rob Bagg. Take a brief editorial moment to say another flaw with the team format in the awards is in the awards, Jerome Messam rushes for over 1,000 yards. 826 of them as a Saskatchewan Roughrider.
Look out, Weston Dressler. Oh, he made that catch.
Didn't touch him.
Oh my goodness, what a catch by Dressler. Brett Smith with a bomb. Let's see if this is indeed a catch or a trap. Oh, I think it's
that's a trap.
Yeah, I'll tell you, that one's probably coming back too, but I'll tell you what. He made that look spectacular.
Yeah, great adjustment to the football, just unable.
Play is under review by the command center.
Under review right now. So, again, the ball cannot touch the carpet and cannot be trapped. You cannot use it. And
he just didn't get that left hand underneath it.
This is coming back. So let's go back to your editorial. You're in a grumpy mood.
I haven't had any sleep. I've been like freaking John Candy and Steve Martin, planes, trains, and automobiles the last 3 days.
All right, go ahead.
Anyway, so Jerome Messam. How is Jerome Messam not one of the top 9 Canadians in the league this year? But because he gets traded at the deadline, he's not a team nominee. He played 15 games for Saskatchewan.
We're going to get this on. We're going to get the commissioner in here because I think your format with having 3 players also adds to that.
But yeah, I mean, you can nominate as many guys as you want.
After review, the ruling on the field is reversed. It is an incomplete pass. It will be second down and 15 yards to go from the 36-yard line.
After all that, okay, let's bring it down to your finalists. Not sure Messam would have been one, but Jamal Westerman. Okay, so you had him as defensive player, and Sinopolis had a great year.
Sinopolis had a phenomenal year.
Don't mess it up, man.
It's a tough one. But I'm going with the defensive guy. I am going with the defensive guy, Jamal Westerman. Again, tough year for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, but this is a guy who's made a huge impact. Has had both these guys terrific seasons from start to finish.
I'm not sure that you're a popular guy in Peterborough right now.
If you knew the history, Black, you would know I was never a popular guy in Peterborough.
And Smith, John Bowman, exclamation point. On an historical day for John Bowman. Now for sure, he is the SAC champion of 2015.
Well, he couldn't take the title on that chintzy one in the first half. That time with authority.
JB, John Bowman. I think it's all the love you're giving to Westerman today that has inspired Bowman as well. But I know there's probably fans or people. This is not an exact science. It's your exact science. So there's going to be.
I don't think it's an exact science.
It's democratic, of course.
I had a real tough time with a lot of the awards. Frankly, I'm still deciding on some of them. I don't have to vote until I don't have to make my votes official until tonight.
Yeah, well,
I've got
we'll
till
call
midnight.
each other at 5 to 12. 2.5 minutes to go. Steph Logan runs out of room. So the question is, can Sutton still get those remaining yards to become the rushing champion? We already have a SAC champion. And the biggest question is, who is the most outstanding player according to Dwayne Ford?
Try and remember who I voted for. No, I know who I voted for. You see, great year for quarterbacks when you look at the nominees. Henry Burris, Trevor Harris, Zach Collaros, Mike Riley, Bo Levi Mitchell among the nominees. Steph Logan, of course, Montreal's nominee. Great year on special teams for him. Adam Bighill and Jeff Knox Jr. repping the linebackers. Jeff Knox Jr., nominee in 3 different categories. Most outstanding player, top defensive player, top rookie for the Riders.
Well, they're going to give it to Sutton, and there it is. Terrell Sutton. Terrell Sutton has just become the CFL rushing champion for 2015 on the final day, in the final game, in the final 2.5 minutes.
A solid effort here for Terrell Sutton. Great burst up the middle. Good physical run. The last Alouette to win the title, Brandon Whitaker. 2011, he had 1,381 yards. That season we talked about, Whitaker, Richardson, Calvillo.
He's not done yet, piling it up, so maybe a little premature. Yesterday, some declaring that Andrew Harris or Jerome Messam might be the rushing champions. Terrell Sutton had his say. This was not a meaningless game to a couple of Montreal Alouettes today.
No, it certainly wasn't. You talk about Terrell Sutton, obviously a rushing title at stake. Brandon Bridge looking to establish himself. Canadian quarterback, American quarterback, whatever, a young quarterback getting a chance to start. Looking to end his rookie season on a positive note. You know, he's got big plans for his off-season and development.
3-point ball game here. Saskatchewan can still get the ball back, and it is a one-possession game. So here are the finalists. I thought you would go here. Bo Levi Mitchell and Henry Burris, and I also think I know where you're going.
Yeah, I mean, phenomenal season for both these guys. Hank has those great individual numbers. Bo doesn't have quite the same numbers, but terrific efficiency, and you can't sneeze at the win-loss record, which is the bottom line. I'm going with my last remaining former teammate in the Canadian Football League, Henry Burris, who has been...
That's not a biased...
40 is the new 30.
There you go. That's not a biased decision.
No, he's had a tremendous year.
As John Schick has the football from the Saskatchewan Roughriders, are still alive in this. A chance to win this ball game. A botched play. Schick comes up with the ball.
So Samuel Giguère is coming in motion on this play. He's going to get caught behind the center as the ball is snapped in the shotgun formation. John Schick, Johnny on the spot, comes up with that one.
Terrell Sutton adds a tackle to his ledger today. So now the Saskatchewan Roughriders, with a minute 2, can certainly put this in field goal position. Why not have overtime in a game between two teams not going to the playoffs?
I'll tell you why not, Ron. I've got a flight to catch.
Okay, there you go. It's all about you today, young man. Anthony Allen, far side. But the Saskatchewan Roughriders aren't thinking field goal right now. They're thinking about taking this to the house.
It means something to win your last game. It really does. Brett Smith has come on. Has been terrific here in the fourth quarter, injecting some life into this team. You don't think it means something to Bob Dice?
Look at that.
To win this football game?
Brett Smith has been sensational in the fourth. Here comes the rush again. Smith has to let it go. He does. Rob Bagg. This is going to be spotted for a first down. 52 to go. Some excitement here between the Roughriders and the Alouettes. Two teams destined for next season, not the postseason. Putting on a show here now. Smith again, and no catch, incomplete. Bouncing right in front of the side official. Looking for Ryan Smith. Again, the Roughriders trying to avoid a 16-loss season, which has never happened before in Rider history. Twice 15 losses, 1959 and 1999. They're also looking for their first win on the road. Last time they were 0-9, 99 on the road. Second down, Smith over the top, and there's Ryan Smith once again. Still lots of time here, 36, certainly a couple more shots to get it into field goal range for Tyler Krapinja. I think it's something about when Krapinja and Boris Beatty see each other, they know they're going to be in close football games.
There needs to be some drama.
Yes.
Think about especially that 2011 Vanier Cup. They met again in 2012, but I think Laval was a little angry in that one.
2011, one of the great games in CIS history.
Oh, in Canadian football history.
Yeah. Master winning in overtime. Krapinja had missed earlier, then made it to win it for Mac. Trying to win it for Sask today. 36 to go here. Wobbler out of bounds. Idera getting a lot of touches here. 8 yards. Down to 30 seconds.
Well, S.J. Idera, as we said, one of the guys who played those 2011-2012 Vanier Cup matchups between Laval and McMaster.
Idera will go to the top of the screen. Look out for Ryan Smith again, bottom of your screen. Short side. Here comes the heat. And under route for Rob Bagg. That's a first down. 4 seconds. Smart play.
I love the game film that Brett Smith has put together here in this fourth quarter. He's been fantastic. Just his decision making. And again, you talk about the growth over the course of a season. You can see him recognizing blitzes, picking them up, recognizing where the ball needs to go, and getting it there, and just seeing how much faster he's now processing and making those decisions.
Riders are thinking V here. Victory. Smith, bat snap. Little screen over here to Anthony Allen. It'll be second down, but that brings the clock to 21.
Yeah, and the bat snap threw off the timing on that one because he wanted to get it to Allen earlier. By the time he was throwing to him, it was a rush throw from an odd angle and with a defender closing in.
So 2nd and 10. Could have time for a couple plays here. You want to get the first down here to get another shot. At the very least, give it to Krapina to tie it. But why not try to win it? Here we go. Smith now. Eating up time on the clock. Down to 13, so now not getting to the first down marker will bring out Tyler Krapina, and remember back in 2011.
Yeah, 2011 Vanier Cup. A winning field goal in overtime. Gave the McMaster Marauders their first Vanier Cup. They had a shot on the last play last year against Montreal. That was blocked by current Hamilton Tiger Cat Matthew Girard.
This isn't for a win, but it's to send us to OT. Tyler Krapina
kicked off a walk-off field goal winner in a preseason game, his first training camp with Calgary.
Lewis.
Yeah, Nick Lewis among those who mobbed him. But Krapina, by the way, is the guy that they got from Calgary in the Jerome Messam trade.
So they're going to ice the kid a little bit here. He's a big-time kicker, though. You mentioned last year. Again, the block. Chance to make it 2 Vanier Cup winning kicks. Krapina's been hanging around. Sometimes it's where you get drafted. I mean, very difficult in Calgary to make any inroads with Rene Paredes there. Now an opportunity in Saskatchewan. This could go a long way to a job for next season. 39 yards. Tyler Krapina for overtime. The kick is up and the kick is good. And the Saskatchewan Roughriders tie the game. And why wouldn't we be tying the game?
Jamarcus Hardrick, he's just carrying everybody.
2 teams that want to take the 2015 season into overtime. So unless Montreal can score here with 8 to go, which is unlikely but not unheard of, we will go to our shootout.
You gotta love it. I mean, this is a game where the teams could easily not care about the outcome. I mean, neither of these teams is even changing as much as their draft position with a win or a loss in this football game.
You could have mailed this in.
Oh, absolutely.
So Brandon Bridge was moments away, it seemed, from his first win. First win by a Canadian starter. And now he's just going to take the knee and get it to overtime in the shootout. Still has a chance. But look at the Riders. I mean, you go back to that play that was mishandled by the Alouettes, giving the Riders an opportunity by all accounts. This game should have been over right there. But it wasn't, and so now the Owls and the Riders are going to go to our shootout. Little extra time on the 2015 regular season. Had a few overtimes this year already, some thrillers, and the teams will play a maximum of 2 mini games. Scrimmaging from the 35. You must attempt a 2-point convert. And of course, there is a possibility that we can have a tie.
Yes, maximum 2 mini games.
So we do have one more award. You've been handing out your awards. It goes to the Warriors, the Road Warriors.
Amen.
3 games, 3 days crew. There's Jamie Brannigan. Bill Orm, there he is. There's Eddie G and Dougie J. Jimmy Young. Who actually didn't begin the trip as a cameraman. No. And of course, U40. There it is. There it is. We want to thank our entire crew all season long. And then you, buddy. I don't know how you did it. Are you still awake?
Running on fumes a little bit.
Yeah, it's all right. But and we should, as many people as we talk about it, the entire cruise, coast to coast, all season long. We get ready for the postseason. Big sacrifices on everybody, especially weekends when the games are on, families, friends, and other things. But guess what? Everybody on this crew, on all of our crews, loves this game like nothing else.
No question about that.
You'd have to love it to do that, especially when it's snowing and raining. And guess what? In the next couple of weeks, we can have some of that stuff. And mostly, we like to thank the fans. Great Canadian football fans from coast to coast to coast. This is the fun time now as we get to the playoffs.
This is what it's all about. For 9 teams and their respective rabid followings. It's all about getting to the big game, November 29th, and coming away with a Grey Cup.
Can't wait for Winnipeg. And again, as every year, there are the favorites right now going in, but it's a pick-em in so many ways. So many teams have different shades of momentum right now.
Yeah, and it's the great thing about football that's so unique as compared to other professional sports, the one-game playoff. On any given day, anything can happen. Be a player having a magical day. It could be a fluke play like what we just saw in the turnover. Could be an injury that changes things. Handful of big plays, but on any given Sunday in November.
You got it. You got it. You've seen it before. Now Edmonton waiting in the wings for Calgary and BC next week. Ottawa now will watch and wait. Hamilton and Toronto is literally the battle of Ontario in the East. So here we go. 35-yard line. We're in overtime. The shootout begins. Saskatchewan has the football. Brett Smith has done great things since coming into the ball game. Rolls out and has his man Roosevelt on the sideline, spinning, still on his feet. Saskatchewan trying to strike first here and put the pressure on the Alouettes.
Great effort after the catch here by Roosevelt. And the spin move here, taking advantage of the defender's momentum. He very nearly steps out of bounds, looked pretty close there.
I think I see a little,
just a wisp of green between his foot and the sideline.
Down to the 14 here in overtime. Saskatchewan trying to get its 3rd win, and off on a high note to the end zone and out of bounds. Good for Ryan Langford. So now Alouettes trying to hold them here to a field goal attempt, and then we'll go to it. Big play upcoming. Bob Dice and company. There is a penalty, and it's going against the
foul. First down, Saskatchewan.
That flag was not seen from here. And there is a penalty, and it's against Montreal. So it will mean 1st and goal. It was a pass interference call. Davis Reed doesn't like it. First and goal for the Riders. Weston Dressler in motion. Smith hands it off to Allen. Swallowed. Billy Parker. Nicholas Boulay. Second and goal.
We'll take a look back here. Keep an eye on Weston Dressler. He's going to run an underneath route here. And right about the 5-yard line. See the defender, looks like Dominique Ellis. Grabbed him, so that's where it went to the point of the foul. The 5-yard line, approximately.
This is where the Alouettes have excelled in this area, but they're going to have to hold the Riders here. Looking end zone, Smith, touchdown, Dressler. The Riders strike first in OT, and now the 2-point convert.
Well, we haven't called Weston Dressler's name a lot in this football game, but when we have, they've been big plays at key times for the Riders.
He will not get to 1,000, but he might have the winning touchdown. A couple of key touchdowns, one in the fourth, now one in overtime. So the Riders lead 30-24, 2-point convert. And then it will be Montreal's turn. Floater, nobody home. So now it's Montreal's turn. They must score a touchdown and could win it with a 2-point convert. If the game is tied, we continue on for another mini game. So now Brandon Bridge, you talked about the moment being bigger. Nothing really was that big until late going. It's the biggest now.
Yeah, no question. We'll see what he can do in the clutch. Do or die for the Montreal Alouettes here.
Win or lose, he has shown Jim Popp and these Alouette fans that the future looks bright for the Canadian quarterback. Alouettes now trying to hold serve. Handed off to Brandon Rutley. Hasn't had many touches. So it will be second and medium. Bridge looks to the sideline for the play.
And obviously, as you mentioned, they've got to match what the other team does. So they're playing 3-down football here.
AC moves the chess piece here. BJ Cunningham, top of your screen. Sutton's in the backfield. He's throwing. Quick hitter. First down. Cunningham. BJ Cunningham, a highlight reel catch in the second half with Brandon Bridge. That was a clutch one.
BJ Cunningham, another good find during this season for the Alouettes. Great addition to their receiving corps. And this is a team in need of some young receivers to develop, as we've seen Cunningham today and Hoffman on the American side.
A little reverse here. And Mikael Davidson again fumbled the football, but into the arms of Samuel Giguère. That could have been ball game. And close to a first down again, so second down they can run the football once more. Here in overtime.
Now it looked like Davidson may have had a chance to turn it up
there
a little bit earlier. Hallman's up in run support. Fortunate bounce there for the Alouettes.
Well, Sutton will be in the backfield. Will they put it on the ground? Second and short. Again, they must score on this drive. And they will. But Sutton is going to stretch for the first down. It looks like it might require a measurement. Let's see where they spot it. No, first down. Well, these two teams providing some excitement here. Overtime game.
Yeah, going out with a bang here in 2015.
Two non-playoff teams.
Well, this is their playoffs.
This is it. You said it. Want to win that last game. How about this guy, Brett Smith? What is fourth quarter and beyond. Brandon Bridge, where are you going? Pound the middle again, and now they're likely going to throw the football. Whistles had blown. Terrell Sutton, though, congratulations to him, a rushing champion for 2015. Here saw a lot of rotating running backs changing teams, a lot of injuries. John Cornish going down, of course, one of the feature backs in the CFL. This little guy wins the title. Now wants to win this game. 2nd and 8. They can get it down to the 2 and go, 1st and goal. And Cody Hoffman. Now it is down to this, which could be the final play of the ball game. They must get a first down or touchdown.
Tough throw there. Out to the wide side in the flat. So the angle of the throw makes the window very tight with the defender trailing in coverage.
Bridge goes to that wristband. One of the biggest plays he's had in quite some time. Needs a first down or a touchdown, or it's game over. With time. Oh, unable to stretch for it was Jaguar, the Saskatchewan Roughriders. On a year they'd like to forget. Have a win they can remember. They come back in fine style in the 4th quarter, led by Brett Smith.
Mom and Dad, I love you.
Brandon Bridge will not get the win as a Canadian starter, but he will someday. This kid showed some great stuff. Bob Dice, you got to win the final game. 3 lone wins for the Riders against 15 losses. But these teams provide some excitement on the final game. Brandon Bridge, even in a loss, you're our Nissan Titan player of the game.
Yeah, Brandon Bridge was up to the task. First Canadian starter in 19 years. Came in, threw a couple of touchdown passes, looked poised from start to finish. Looked every bit a CFL quarterback. Some confidence to go on the reel. Game ball for Dad. Brandon Bridge is our Nissan Titan player of the game.
Final score, Saskatchewan Roughriders 30, the Montreal Alouettes 24 in the overtime shootout. So that's it. 2015 regular season comes to a close. For Dwayne Ford, John Liu, our entire crews from coast to coast to coast. The season's over, but the second season is about to begin. Bring it on. Let the playoffs begin. The CFL on TSN will continue next week.